Now, whether Psaki's behind the podium in the briefing room or in front of a camera on MSDNC, she'll be doing the same thing, lying for a living. Now, here with reaction, Fox News contributors Joe Concha and Douglas Murray. Joe, who I think is the best media personality, the only objective one, not part of the blue check media mob on Twitter, who should have his own TV show, I think, here on Fox. Anyway, Joe, I thought that student asking Humpty Dumpty the question, he nailed it, and Humpty had no answer.
An 18-year-old just schooled CNN's chief media correspondent, Sean, ironically at an event to discuss the dangers of disinformation, something Mr. Stelter is patently an expert on for all the wrong reasons. So let's go through these students' points again. All right, his name is Christopher Phillips. In his question one by one, he says traditional media, and that's like CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, Washington Post, New York Times. He said that they pushed the Russia collusion hoax, right? And that is absolutely correct. He said they pushed the Jussie Smollett hoax. That is correct. He said they smeared Justice Kavanaugh as a rapist. That is correct. He said that they smeared Nicholas Salmon as a white supremacist. That is correct. And as you pointed out, Salmon actually sued CNN for $250 million. The network had to settle because the evidence on that front was overwhelming. He also said that they dismissed the Hunter Biden laptop affair as pure Russian disinformation. Bingo. And then obviously, yes, all the mistakes in the mainstream media and CNN, he said in particular, seem to all magically go in one direction. I believe I have heard that somewhere before. So then Stelter answers by saying everything that Phillips broached was, quote, and it bears repeating, a right-wing narrative about CNN, unquote. And he does this with a straight face. I mean, he proceeds not to address any of the points that Phillips made. Oh, by the way, here's Brian Stelter in 2020 in the Hunter Biden laptop story. We know now that this is a classic example of the right-wing media machine, unquote. So this has always been the playbook, right, Sean? With stories damaging the Democrats or the media. Blame the right-wing media, blame Russian information. And we wonder why more and more Americans see journalists now as activists. And once that trust is broken, it's very hard to put Humpty Dumpty back together, Sean.
It'd be interesting to see if Jeff Zucker's stenographer Humpty gets to stay with new management coming in. Douglas, let's get your take on it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And I mean, that comment from Anne Applebaum of The Atlantic magazine is also absolutely typical of the media landscape you've just described, Sean. You know, Anne Applebaum was a distinguished historian of Russia and much more. And then in recent years, she went absolutely bananas about a set of election results she just couldn't accept. Her husband and his political party were chucked out of power in Poland, so she decided that Polish democracy wasn't really democracy. The Brexit vote happened. She didn't like that, so she decided that that hadn't really happened fairly. And on through Donald Trump. And now we have her saying on this panel about disinformation, I mean, you just can't make it up, that she wouldn't have covered the Hunter Biden laptop story because it's just not that interesting to me. It's not that interesting to Anne Applebaum that the son of the soon-to-be then President of the United States, the then would-be President of the United States, was earning $50,000 a month in a discipline he does not have, in an area he knows nothing about, in a country he barely knows. That's not interesting to her. It's not interesting to Anne Applebaum that, as we know from Miranda Devine's book, Laptop from Hell, and as you just mentioned in your opening monologue, that Hunter Biden says to his daughter that the big man, his father, takes a percentage of all of his money that he earns. You know, is that not interesting to people? And there are consequences from this, as you know, Sean. You know, we have years of people making up stuff about Russian collusion. We have dozens and dozens of intelligence operatives pretending that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation. And then the American people become rightly suspicious of all of the institutions in this country. Ukraine, Russia, all of these things. The Democrats have made serious foreign policy issues almost unmentionable in Washington because they're all domestic issues, which they're fighting their pathetic domestic wars over.
All right, Douglas, great analysis. Joe Concha, as always, great analysis from you. Thank you both. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.